Hello, ladies and gentlemen. People who like pets, people who don't like pets, people who love wrestling, people who watch Saturday morning wrestling, people who watch cartoons. You are now tuned in to the Wrestling Podcast live from the Royal Rumble. It is 808s and Chess Shots. I am your host, Jeff, joined as always by the lovely Condoleezza Rice and Nick. Say what's up to the people, y'all.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, Nick. We got visuals and Nick has got it. I think Nick's a heel. Like, you know what I mean? He lives his life as a face, but I think on the show he's a heel. And it is cool though. I dig it. I really dig it. One of the nicest guys you want to meet, but on this show he's a heel. It's okay. It's all right. All right. You can follow the show 808s and Chair Shots on the Instagram and the Facebook. On the Twitter, we are 808s Chair Shots because it's Twitter or X has a character limit on usernames. Yeah, reach out to us, man. You know, we talk about wrestling, have a good time, get good laughs, good memes. You know what I'm saying? We interact with the independent guys a lot on the X, Twitter Spaces, and all that good stuff. So yeah, good times. On that note, we are going to get started. How was you guys' week?
I guess it's okay. Uneventful so far. Haven't really done much.
Those are the best ones though. Get to relax a little bit. You got a big weekend coming up though.
I
True
do.
that.
Very
Yeah.
busy.
So are you doing well? Listeners know you are going to be attending the Royal Rumble. We talked about that last show. Are you
Yeah.
going to be doing any Rumble activities around the city?
Uh, Most likely, yeah. There's gonna be, I just found out today actually, there's gonna be a superstore at the Raymond James Stadium, so I'm probably gonna go to that at some point.
Mm-hmm.
There is going to be there's going to be a party at Crowbar hosted by Mega Ran and a DJ named Slop Funk Dust. They're putting on an event. That's going to be pretty fun. I'll be there. Um yeah, and then there's the actual day, Saturday, is gonna be a bit busy. I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna go to the Gasparilla Parade, which that's just Tampa stuff. That's
Okay.
not Rumble related, but Saturday is gonna be a busy day. I don't know.
What's up? That's probably my one regret. When SummerSlam was here in Nashville, I went to the Superstore and I talked myself out of buying stuff. Like get if you can. It is a little pricey, but if you can get something, because that's just something to have. You know what I'm saying? And I wish I'd at least bought a shot glass or something, because it was a fun event, fun day, and it was organized real well. They do a lot, man. They do a lot. So that's dope. Nick, how about you, brother?
But this snow.
Okay. All right. Well, the snow's gone now. It's gone. It's
Well,
gone.
fuck it, because now we're working 12-hour shifts.
Yeah, that's rough, brother. That's rough. We got to get you. We got to get you something. You know what I mean? Work from home or something. We got to get you a computer job, desk job or something. This is bull crap. This ain't it. This ain't it, man. Keep pushing this content, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, you ain't got to work no more, buddy. We can do this for a living, not just for fun, right? That's the goal. Or not. All right. Any hoozle. No, I'm with you, Andrew. I'm talking to him and he's doing his heel work, you know, been leaning to the side and being cool and shit. And it's all good. All right. Let's get going, man. This week, Seth Rollins. Uh yeah, it's MCL, not an ACL. That's no fun. I've had one of those, but it's MCL, no fun either. Um it had an injury, came out on Raw with the brace on. Um Says he's still going to defend that belt, his World Heavyweight Championship at Mania. He's going to keep the title. He was not stripped. You guys think that is a big deal, little deal, or this is just something? It's actually a blessing in disguise for WWE. What do you think, Andrew?
Is this injury real?
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was live. It was
It looked
live
real.
last week, and it was
Okay.
all over. Yeah.
Okay. Um, it's a real injury. He's keeping the title till Mania. Is it a big deal? Um, I would have to say is he actually able to like work through, or are we gonna have like a?
I don't think he's working. I think he's just gonna pop up, do a little talking here or there, if anything else, but nothing physical. MCLs, like in other sports, there are instances I've seen, 3 to 4 months, depending on how severe it is. Yeah, so I don't, or sometimes season ending, right? Depending on how severe it is and if any other ligaments are damaged during the injury. So, um, yeah, I don't see him being able to, if this, like you said, if this is a real injury, which it seemed that it was with the way they're handling it, I don't see him being able to do any working until, because Mania is still what 2 or 3 months away,
April.
technically. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. So to me, that sounds like he's probably gonna lose at WrestleMania. But if he's not working until then it's not really. I won't say it's not a big deal, but it's not a big deal, but it's not a small deal either, because that just means you have more time for the story to build up. You got something you can work with other people. You can set stuff up for the future. It's not him vacating it is more of a dead end. Would have been more of a dead end to me
Yeah.
versus what's currently happening. So yeah, just let him have the same privileges that Roman has. Let him just hang out, do what he likes to do. It's gonna be 3 months versus what, a year.
Yeah.
We can deal with that from Seth for a year, for 3 months.
And he's been a working champ. Like he's on every show. He doesn't miss a show. He's defending on Raw, et cetera, et cetera. So I see what you mean. Nick, what you got?
I think it's a medium deal,
Medium. Okay. All right.
small and a medium,
All right.
because we don't know what degree the MCL injury is in.
Mhm.
And for what I know about MCLs, you do got to get inspected at least twice, right?
Yeah. What I
So
understand.
the
Without being
initial,
a doctor, right? Not
yeah,
being
without being a doctor, I don't know anything. This is
yeah.
just from watching athletes get hurt with it.
Yeah.
The initial, and then they might do another one just to be sure everything is okay, clean up or whatever. They might do surgery. They might do a light little thing and look at it again. Um, it's a medium thing for me because we don't really know how bad the injury really can be, and most likely with WrestleMania being 2 or 3 months away,
Mhm.
it does give him time. You can get a little bounce back a little bit after a couple of months. Nothing physical,
Mhm.
but with how they've been wrestling lately, he's been going these 20, 30 minute matches, right?
Yeah.
That's the big issue. Is he going to be able to go the normal rate that he's used to going if he's really hurt that bad? MCL is really a tough injury. And I really don't know. It's like I said, it's a medium. I don't know. If he was to give it up, then the title up shit's creek if he gives it up. Because we don't know. But
When
hey,
he initially announced not he, when the injury was, when I saw it and then when it was announced, I automatically thought he's vacating the title, right?
right.
I automatically thought that because of the severity of what it could be. And but with him saying he's not, he's keeping it. Um, it's a big deal to me because now you realize it's gonna be, that's one of the tempos is gonna be at Mania, so that's gonna be there, no problem. That belt is gonna be defended by Rollins at Mania. So now you just got to figure out who's getting there, who's he gonna go against. So I get it. I thought they could have had a little fun if he did vacate it, changing around the Rumble a little bit and having it be for that belt, right? And elevating it even more because now you're having the Royal Rumble before, or even better, um, leaving Rumble as it is and then saving it for Elimination Chamber, having Elimination Chamber before the actual title, especially since you're going overseas and stuff like that, first time for an event. So I mean, they had options, but I think it's dope. I mean, I think we all are big Seth Rollins fans. Love this version of Seth, this version of his character. So Godspeed, man, and a happy, happy, happy recovery. All right, or happy and speedy recovery, I should say.
Speed.
Moving on, Nick, this is one of our favorite shows on TV. Andrew, I think you watch as well. Dark Side of the Ring is back with a new season. Every time I think this show is done, right? I think there's thousands, millions, hundreds of wrestling stories out there, but I always feel like they've tapped out with what they can actually talk about. But yeah, nope, they find more. And, and I'm always there for it. So this is going into season 5 now
Yep.
of Dark Side of the Ring.
10
Nick,
episodes at that.
10 episodes. Yeah. Yeah, man. But again, the stuff they find, even if it's someone, that you aren't too familiar with, the way it's shot, I know a lot of the old school wrestlers and wrestlers who are still active don't really like it because they feel like that, it's kind of painting people in a negative image for more or less. I mean, it is called Dark Side of the Ring. But with that being said, Neek, we'll get going with you. Is there any particular possible episode
Perk
that sticks
Angle.
out?
They don't need to talk about nothing else. Perk Angle. We're getting Perk Angle.
I can't believe they're doing that.
That is what I want to see. I mean, Harley Race, cool. Buck Bagwell, all right. Brutus Bootcake, whatever. Sandman, great.
Yeah, I'm here for
But-
Sandman.
Oh, yeah, Sensational Sherry, I forgot.
Yes, it's Sheriff
Right.
Sheriff here for that one.
Black Saturday, great.
Okay.
But we getting Perk Angle.
Is he gonna be involved in it? Do we know yet?
I haven't seen the list of who's
He
involved with
should
his
be.
episode, but
I don't think he is because there is like a WWE version of that. Well, his I'm not gonna say it. His documentary on Peacock kind of covers some of that. It doesn't.
yeah,
it's
that-
not gonna probably not gonna go into the detail of this Dark Side of the Ring one. So I'm pretty sure he may not be a part of this one.
but we getting Perk Angle.
We definitely getting Perk Angle. That's
I want-
tough.
They got to talk about their front flip. They got to talk about him saying yeah and almost everything, being overly aggressive for no damn reason.
Yeah, he
He was on TNA wilding. Wilding. Like,
that was a good time for TNA though.
I remember at one point, I'm like, yo, he going to get all the belts?
Yeah, he was wilding.
Y'all give him all of them?
He was the
What's
main
wrong with
thing
it?
there. He was the biggest thing they had. Pause. And it wasn't much that they that he wouldn't do for them. So, and he probably shouldn't have been wrestling. I'm pretty sure they're going to cover that as well. He probably should not have been wrestling during that
He
time.
talked about that in the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Perk Angle is the one you're looking forward to. I got
Perk Angle. Oh, okay. Perk Angle. Sandman would be second.
No, I'm tapped in.
And maybe Sensational Sherry. Yeah, that would be my
Legend.
third one because
Legendary.
I don't know too much about her.
I
But she has
bet
a big
she
impact.
has. I bet she has stories because she was from a time. From all the stuff I hear on other podcasts and stuff, she's from a time being a woman. She held her own, and in the ring, outside the ring, et cetera, et cetera. So I bet she got some gems. Nothing else.
Gotta see. Gotta hear that.
Andrew, what about you? Anything you sticking out to you?
Not really. Nothing. I mean, I don't know too much about Black Saturday. So I'm probably I guess I'm looking forward to that one the most because
Mhm.
I'm at this point I don't even really know what that is. I will wait until the till the episode airs.
Mhm.
Might read up a little bit about it, but as for right now, I don't want no spoilers on that one.
Okay, we'll be quiet.
Sensational Sherry, I would have to say I'm probably the most interested in that one because even yeah, I mean I personally feel like in WWE at least, and most of these organizations, I don't really feel like Sherry really gets her due. None of the women from her time did. So I mean, it's not like she was a fabulous moolah type who just hung around until the very end, like still in the business. But I understand like she did have a pretty I don't want to how can I say this? It's like she's kind of in the same like category, not at kind of like China, but for different reasons. Whereas with
Okay.
China, it was like the whole pornography and stuff. But with Sherry, it was more so drugs. So I kind of get why they wouldn't want to glorify, but at the same time, like she's one of the goats. Be like
Yeah.
let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
And then she might have had a history with drugs, but she don't got pimping allegations, you know?
No.
But
No,
yeah,
no, no.
no, I step off the soapbox.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm happy when I'm not the only one
Eat.
that's on the soapbox every episode.
Keep going. Keep going.
I mean, hey.
I got it. All right. So you guys mentioned some great ones. You kind of touched on pornography there a little bit. Pause. Marcus Alexander Bagwell. That's going to be a funny one if they actually go there with him. His wrestling career, his mom, Judy Bagwell, being involved in some matches, the stuff that happened after wrestling, him being a gigolo and all that. You know what I mean? Like a real deal gigolo too, like on TV shows and everything. Like he's had an interesting run of things. So just off the strength, like that's just one of those like very interesting stories that you don't really think about. But I'm tapped in for real because I thought Buff as the stuff was always pretty funny to me, and you know the after the rings outside of the ring stuff is always yeah, just leave it alone. Buff had an interesting go outside of the ring. I'll just leave it at that. Uh, let's see what here. Uh, let's see. Pulling up the list here. Just one moment. All right. Now, keep it in television land. Netflix and WWE have joined forces for a 10-year, $5 billion deal. Billion with the B. WWE gonna get a billion, boy. Uh, yeah, just billion. But it's on a streaming platform. Netflix has already come out mentioning that there may be instances where pricing may increase for their customers yet again. We'll get started with you, Andrea. When you heard this, what did you think of this deal for WWE and for wrestling period going forward and going into the streaming age?
As far as WWE goes, to be honest, I don't really care about the business money aspect of it.
Okay.
So long as Netflix, as long as their platform can carry the content better than Peacock, so long as I don't have issues with my pay-per-view cutting out in the middle when if I didn't pay for ads, then I don't get to see the video pack. If I didn't pay for no ads, then I don't get to see the video package. Like
That's crazy.
it's too silly. And then also too, as long as Netflix can do, like, I don't want to watch Survivor Series season 7. I want to watch Survivor Series 2000. I want to watch Survivor Series 97. Like, it needs to be organized better. So for me, as long as it provides a better, I guess a better experience for the customer, I'm all for it. Go to Netflix. And then if that also means I can watch Raw without a 1 day delay, that like having to do with Netflix, like how I'm having to do with Hulu right now, go ahead. Like if I could just watch it live when it comes on, go ahead. I don't mind.
So is it just Raw or is it all of the WWE?
All three have a 1 day. Well, SmackDown sometimes is 2 days, but they all have a 1 day delay. And then they're available next day on Hulu
Yeah.
Gotcha.
One
with
day
less
delay.
Well,
content.
makes sense. Netflix. I'm sorry. The Netflix deal.
Yes.
Is it just Raw or is it all PLEs and everything?
All the PLEs and Raw.
Yeah.
Really? Are going to? I
Mhm.
thought it was just Raw.
No, it's PLEs, and most of their library will be on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
So,
Yeah, it's the whole network plus Raw.
mhm.
Okay.
I think SmackDown and NXT will be somewhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
SmackDown
everything
is going
else,
to. NXT is going to CW,
Yes.
and SmackDown is going back to USA.
Yep.
Okay, didn't know that part. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's where everything's going.
Huh. Okay,
So,
Nick, what you got?
hold on. So, first of all, if it's one thing that WWE knows how to do is get some money.
Yeah.
The bit I've never thought they would get $5 billion out of Netflix.
They
Never
must
thought.
believe in it. They already in debt.
But also, you got to think about with Netflix, they've been looking for live TV for a while. So this helps them out a little bit, but at the same time, we don't know the whole outcome of it until it comes a part of everything else. As for the whole thing about are they gonna be able to handle it? As a tech nerd, I know they got Netflix servers are around the country somewhere, so they can probably take care of that. But how much of the library is going to be in it? Are they going to put everything in it? Are they going to take? I mean, I know WWE took a while to take all the racist stuff out, so are they going to be able to just shift it over from Peacock over to Netflix without a problem?
Yeah.
Because it becomes a little grainy right there, especially when it comes to technology. So that's going to be a little issue there with leniency and going on all of the tech stuff. Anywho, as far as I'm concerned, it's going to be interesting that first year, especially that first pay-per-view, because that's going to set the tone of what we're going to experience, especially when we have with Peacock. Because that very first one, everybody's like, why is this slowing up? Why is it freezing? Why did it? And, people complain. So
Okay.
that first pay-per-view and that first show are going to be very important. And I'm going to wait for it next year.
Okay. So I didn't know it included everything, so that makes sense. For me, I, it's Netflix. So I mean, Netflix is the originator, the creator, all the above when it comes to the streaming stuff. They were just late to adapt the live content thing, and as we know, WWE has been the guinea pig for in in the past 5 years. WWE has been the guinea pig for two of the major events in sports: COVID and Saudi Arabia, right? If we're being honest, they were the first to deal with Saudi Arabia, and they didn't stop. They tested out with their performance center. They you think about it, WWE didn't miss a week during COVID. They didn't miss a week at all, and then going into the Thunderdome. So, um, this is dope, man. I'm all about um finding new ways to present stuff. Now, mind you, I love Raw on USA. It's been there for a majority of my life. I mean, there was that small town they were on TNN or whatever it was called at the time. But yeah, they went right back to USA. This is going to be good because we all know, Andrew, you just talked about it. You're streaming on Hulu the day after. You're not really watching on USA. It more allows you to dictate what you're doing, right? Yourself when it's straight to consumer and it's no commercials. It's what I mean? It's just another format. So I'm with it. I'm with you all when you said how Peacock, if you didn't get the Peacock version without the ads, you missed the videos. You're gonna miss all the videos backstage and all that because they're showing a commercial. The replay isn't available instantly after the show goes off. You have to wait 2 hours almost before you can actually watch a replay. That sucks. So it's just that part of it with Peacock has been rough. The season 12, blah 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 blah, has been just a train wreck. I missed the WWE Network. I just funny story. The app doesn't work, of course, but I just deleted the actual WWE Network app off of my phone because it's just been sitting there in one of my folders because I got all my apps in a folder, and it's just been sitting there. It's like, dang, I forgot this was still here. So I finally deleted it. It didn't work or anything, but yeah, man, this is cool. Just to showing how this industry is at the hottest it has been since the Attitude Era. It's definitely hotter now, and they're continue to find creative ways to make money. And this is like Andrew said, Netflix was in debt, um, and they're fighting to stay alive and trying to find new ways to keep their content out there. So this has been pretty cool, man. Also speaking of Hulu, just real quick, finally, I know Nick and I we talked about this last year. Montez and Bianca's show is finally going to air. I believe it's February 2nd. All episodes will be
Yep.
available on Hulu. You guys gonna check that out?
I know I'm gonna watch it.
It looks dope. Andrew, what about you?
At some point. I
Yeah,
can't guarantee it'll be immediately, but I'll probably watch an episode or two at some point.
yeah. It looked the preview looked cool. Montez Ford seems to be pretty forthcoming and straightforward about like when he said she's at the pinnacle and I'm still trying to figure it out. I think that's dope that he's open enough to share that because that is something that men, not to get all in that type of thing, but that we probably sometimes can have trouble with watching our significant others have that type of
Success.
yeah. Because she's the top of the top, right?
Yeah.
Like no questions about it. She's the top of the top, and he's whatever the hell they're doing with him, Bobby Lashley, and the Street Profits, and whatever they got going on there. Like you know what I mean, and he's still trying to figure that out. So I think that's super dope that he's opening up to talk about that. So I'm gonna may not be day of, but it's definitely something I get to one of those nights with, and insomnia is kicking my ass, and I can't go to sleep. So let's move on. I'm not too familiar with this guy. I've mentioned him here before. I'm a wrestling nerd, but when it comes to outside of Impact, AEW, WWE, I'm a little. That's not. After a little bit of technical difficulties, thank y'all for sticking with us. Let's get back to the show. I know I'm always a little negative when it comes to good old AEW and the Tony Khan Express. Um, been called, people have reached out to me, people who listen to the show say I'm hard on Tony Khan, but it is what it is. He's my guy. I want him to succeed. This week, Okada, we were talking about that, from New Japan Pro Wrestling, has announced that his contract is up this month here in January 2024. He's not re-signing back with New Japan. We've always talked about Mercedes Moné being somewhat of a free agent and looking for a new home in this wrestling world. So with that being said, guys, do you feel like the signing of those two heavy hitters would be the sign of a positive uptick in good old AEW? Nick, let's get going with you.
I think Okada would definitely, both of them would, honestly. But I think WWE has a slight advantage when it comes to Okada. He's literally been backstage a couple of times, so they know they have a pretty somewhat good relationship, I think. From what has been said, the higher ups are trying to figure everything out before they can go at him. There's been rumors about him going to NXT and being at Royal Rumble, but the contract is not really officially over until February, so that wouldn't benefit WWE right now. He's a big star, missed a 6-star match, so I would think
he did get the 6-star match.
Yeah, I would think WWE has a fair advantage, but if AEW can pull this off, that'll help them out.
Andrew?
As far as AEW goes, I really don't I don't think it really matters. I mean, it does matter, but not in a way that really, not in a way that counts, I guess. I don't think it matters who AEW signs at this point. Their ducks aren't in a row.
Yeah.
Like you can sign all the big names you want, but if you don't know how to run a company, if you don't know how to handle your business, all you're gonna do, you just gonna mess it up.
Yeah.
You're gonna sign them. I think that's the last thing somebody like Mercedes Moné needs, is to sign with a place like AEW. They get her and then say things just you don't elevate her. You continue to do the same thing you're doing now before you signed her. I think in her case, that's the last thing she needs, is to sign with them and then nothing changes, or they don't handle things right. So, like I just said, if they can sign who they want to sign, but if they don't know how to book them, if they don't know how to manage them, if they cannot put together cards that make sense, if they cannot manage their talent, it doesn't matter. And I'm not too familiar with Will Okada either, but the same thing stands for him.
Yeah, that 6-star match was Okada and Will Ospreay, right? Neat. Am I
No,
right about
it's
that?
him and Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega. You're right. You're right.
The whole
You're right.
series with him.
Yeah. Hey man, look. What they call them, the flippity flop matches, those are great. You know what I mean? They're intense. Um, but we've talked about it ad nauseum here. Wrestling is more about stories than it is about the in-ring work, and that shows in viewership. When you have a story that people can get invested in, or stories people can get invested in, that's when people start tuning in. Um, I'm a big Mercedes Monet fan, Sasha Banks fan. I hope wherever she goes, I hope she's very successful as she always is. AEW definitely could use her. They need help in that women's division. Okada, being just a overall, well-known fact. He's mentioned that he wants a WrestleMania. He wants to wrestle at WrestleMania. So, I mean, he can't do that in AEW, but he's only 36. So he has time if he wants to take a pit stop there and then build his name, get more name equity here in the States in AEW. He can do that. And AEW is going to give you the flexibility to go back to New Japan or in other indies or other things that you want to do that you won't have at WWE. Because once you're WWE, we all know that they're not allowing you to go other places. So I'm in a wait and see. I know recently AEW was talking about they're going back to Wembley in August, and they're already selling out for that. Sting's last match is just about sold out at their pay-per-view coming up. So things are looking up. Hopefully that continues. And I will say this though, I watched that Hook and Samoa Joe match. That was good stuff. That was good stuff. So hopefully Samoa Joe can continue, with the belt and continue pushing Hook, bringing up Hook and things like that. I think that'll be great. But we've said it enough, Andrew. You said it perfectly. They got to get their ducks in a row. Got to get their business. Got to get their house in order, as my grandmother used to say. You got to get your house in order, and that's the first things first for AEW. I want them to be successful, but don't look now. TNA seems to be finally getting their ducks in order with the signing of Dolph Ziggler and things like that. And we might have a new number 2 promotion if they don't look out. So that's my last thing I'll say. Andrew, do you have a hit my theme music for the people?
I do, but it will be brief. Well, it depends on how brief it is. But so earlier this week, something that we did not talk about was the WWE 2K24 cover stars were revealed. So we have Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Cody Rhodes, 3 cover stars this year.
Okay.
Do y'all care? But before I even get into it, do y'all care about video game soundtracks?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you have any expectations for 2K24?
I mean, with Triple H,
As far as it goes?
I mean, for me, Triple H is head of WWE.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be a lot of metal, a little more. I mean, I feel like he's gonna have some metal in there because he loves the heavy metal type thing. I want it to be balanced, but I'm expecting it to be a little more rock than rap or country or something else of that nature. That's what I expect for this soundtrack.
I don't know. 22, if I'm not mistaken, 2K22 had a balance. I played that more than I played 2K23. And 23 was a better game, but I didn't get around to it. I'll be honest, I didn't get around to it as much. I had a lot going on. As far as the soundtrack goes, I'm hearing it, with Triple H being a part of it, but I think it's going to have a little more of a fusion influence, rap, rock, of course, heavy metal, but it'll be both. What you got for us, Andrew?
Well, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of the conversation. I had went and I looked. 2K22, I believe that was the one that the soundtrack was curated by Machine Gun Kelly.
Yep.
And across the internet wrestling community, the playlist got some pretty bad reviews, but when I look at it and I think about And I think about like where the WWE was music wise throughout the year, like what songs they used to promote their pay-per-views, what songs they used as show themes. When I think about it, like 2K22, that playlist to me matches up the best with how like wrestling music actually is.
Right.
And then 2K23, it didn't really make too much sense to me. It seemed like a bit all over the place, sound wise.
Mhm.
Um, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But with that being said, do y'all have any game soundtracks that stand out to y'all at all? And they don't have to be WWE games, but are there any that stick,
Yeah,
any that you like? What are
absolutely.
they?
2K, NBA 2K, the Jay-Z one, when he created, when he was in the game, when he was courtside in Brooklyn. That was a great one. Fight Night, I'm a big boxing fan. Fight Night on shoot, this goes back to 64. The Nintendo 64, that soundtrack, the game, the music during that game was always great. NBA Street, Volume 1 and Volume 2 had great soundtracks to me. The music played during the game. So yeah, those are the ones that pop up like off the top of my head.
All right.
I would definitely say NBA Streets #2
Okay.
is pretty much Apex right there. That was a mix of everything, old school with a little new.
That's a
It's an
great game.
NBA Live one.
Yeah.
Can't think. Is it
With Carmelo,
10?
on the cover.
Yeah, I think it's either one with Melo or the one with Vince.
Okay.
That one was pretty good. That one went platinum, actually.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that's crazy for a video game soundtrack to go platinum.
True.
But
Didn't
I
know
would
that.
think that too. It's a couple of other ones. Fight Night. I think you mentioned that one. It was I can't remember. It was a fighting, not a fighting game, but like one of the Halo games or something like that. They had.
Killer Instinct, if we're doing
Killer
fighting
Yeah,
games,
they had them too.
Killer Instinct, when it first came out, had a dope. It came with this. When you bought the game, it came with the soundtrack, which was crazy.
Hmm.
It was rare too.
Yeah. All right, Nick, what you got?
All right, I'm gonna make this real quick myself. Let's go back to the worst one segment that I've heard of what you say. One of the worst segments that I always talked about is the karaoke segment during the pandemic era of wrestling. Um, it was on SmackDown. It featured Naomi, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Tamina. And it was hosted by Jay Uso. From the gate, it just felt out of place. The whole segment just felt out of place. Trinity Part 2, aka Naomi, has talked about it. It felt like the women were just fighting to do better, and WWE wasn't doing too well. So it was all around a very bad. Um, I just it's a loss for words for me. It was that bad. And then
I have
you
to
had the
check that
heel
out.
turn, and it was just so many weird things going on, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. It was just looking at it now. It's just like you just threw these women out to the wolves and hope they survived,
That's
and it
usually how it
didn't.
goes. Okay.
Anybody else remember it?
I don't remember that. You
Yeah,
got me on that one, buddy.
I
I'll be real.
remember it.
Okay.
It did feel out of place. I mean, at the time, it seemed kind of fun, but when you really look at it in the grand scheme of things, like part of karaoke is the crowd reaction or the crowd engagement. Like if you, it's not. I don't think it's really karaoke if you do it in a empty venue. You know, it's more like sound check then. So, so I mean,
Right.
thinking about it, it didn't work.
And with no crowd making it worse.
Yeah, it was very awkward.
Man,
Very
what a
bad
time.
segment and a very rough time for wrestling. Even though the pandemic did give us 2 belts Bailey, 2 belts Sasha Banks. They gave us that.
Yeah, yeah. Bailey and Sasha
But
Banks carried wrestling through the pandemic. Let's just be real.
yeah, those two carried wrestling. Shout out to them. Shout out to Bailey. Shout out to Sasha.
Yeah.
But that segment was terrible. And that is officially one of the worst of what you say.
And on that note, we're going to get out of here. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Please rate, listen, subscribe. Tell your homeboys about it. Tell your homegirls. Tell your people who like wrestling. Tell the people who don't like wrestling, man. Tell them tune in. Just three homies kicking and talking and having a good time, man. It's what we're here for. You guys got anything to say to people before we get out of here?
No.
One, I owe you a Red Bull, Andrea. I do. Just tell me when you want it, and I'll send you the money so you can get you a Red Bull for the Saturday. Also,
it's gonna be a long Saturday.
Also, camera, look at me, camera.
Oh shit.
To you fellas out there, stop scaring the hoes. That's all.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. We'll talk about that later. But dude still doing this? All right. Anyway. All right. So
And there's wrestling involved at that.
All right. Thank you everybody for tuning in. And we are out.
Peace.